In this lesson, inshallah, we'll be going through the text and analysis of Act 3 Scene 13. And this scene takes place in Alexandria at Cleopatra's Place. Enter Cleopatra, Enobarbus, and Iris. Cleopatra, what shall we do, Enobarbus? Enobarbus, think and die. We must think about our situation and die because we can't do much. Enobarbus, Cleopatra, is Antony or we in fault for this? Look at the question. By Cleopatra, is Antony or we in fault for this? Young kid, is it my fault or Antony's fault or our fault in this? Why are we losing this war or why have we already lost this war? In a box. Antony only. It is Antony's war. That would make him will lord of his reason. And why is it Antony's fault? Because he is the one who made his will, his desire, lord of his reason, master of his reason. So he did not think with reason, rather he went after his desire. What though you fled from that great place of war, whose several ranges frightened each other? What does it matter if you fled away uh, from that great place of war, whose several ranges frightened each other, whose several ranks of ships they frightened each side. Both sides were frightened with each other's ranks of ships. So it doesn't matter whether you were present over there or you fled. Why should he follow? The matter is the problem is that why did he follow? The itch of his affection should not then have nicked his captainship at such a point, when half to half the world opposed, he being the made question. So the itch of his affection should not then have nicked his captainship. Okay? His affection for you should not have undermined his skill as a captain at such a point when half to half the world opposed, when one half of the world was opposing the other half of the world, he being the main question, and when he himself was the one, was the reason for that fight that was happening. It was a shame no less than was his loss. His shame was as great as his loss. To force your flying flags, to follow your flying flags, flags of what? Flags of your clean ships, and leave his navy leaving, and leave his navy, leave his army, looking at him, watching him go. So when his navy is going to go watch at him go, that their commander has left them alone. So what is going to happen? What message is they going to get? Are they going to keep fighting or just stop? Or are they going to retreat as well? Like the commander. Cleopatra. Pretty please. Obviously Cleopatra could not accept the fact, could not receive the fact. Therefore, what did she say? Please be quiet. Enter ambassador with him, than Antony. Is that his answer? And he gave the ambassador is back with the answer of Caesar. Is that his answer? Yes, my lord. The queen shall then have courtesy, so she will yield us up. The queen shall have then his favor, so she will yield us up as long as she hands me over to him. Did he say that? That the queen is going to get his favor as long as she hands me over to him? Ambassador. He says so. Yes, that's what he said. Let her know it then. To Cleopatra. He's saying this to Cleopatra. To the boy Caesar send this grizzled head. To the boy Caesar, if you send this old head, yani ke his own head, and he will fill thy wishes to the brim with principalities. Okay, so he's saying this to Cleopatra that if you're going to send to the boy this head of the old man, yani ke my head, then he will fill your wishes to the brim with principalities, with kingdoms. He's going to give you numerous kingdoms. Okay? So better that had my lord, Antony to ambassador. To him again, go back to him. Tell him he wears the rose of youth upon him. Tell him that he's still young. Okay? Tell him he wears the rose of youth upon him. And he wears the first bloom of youth. still young, from which the world should know something particular. And from him, the world expects something particular, remarkable things. His coin, ships, unions may be a coward whose ministers would prevail under the service of a child as soon as in the command of Caesar. For his money, his ships, his armies may be a coward, might as well belong to a coward, whose ministers, whose soldiers or agents would prevail, would do well under the service of a child, यानी कि Caesar, as soon as in the command of Caesar, also just as in the command of Caesar. यानी कि it is actually his armies who are very good, okay, and they do very good. They would have done very good under a child as well. So if Caesar is going to command them, they would do well, obviously. I dare him therefore to lay his gay comparison on. I dare him that what? I dare him therefore to lay his gay comparison apart, okay, to set aside his flashy declaration and answer me declined and answer my challenge. Answer me declined, answer my challenge, sword against sword, even sword against sword, ourselves alone. क्या मतलब है इसका? I yes. And answer me declined. Who has now declined? Right, this he is a young man, and I dare him therefore to set his comparisons apart and answer me who has grown old about what except my challenge, whose challenge who has grown old, and what is the challenge? One-on-one fight. Ourselves alone, only we together. Okay, na? Let the armies be. We both are going to fight each other and decide who is the winner. I will write it. Follow me, therefore. Okay, follow me. So, exit Antony and ambassador. So, Inobabus blames Antony for basically letting a woman dictate his military actions. Antony decides to challenge Octavius via messenger to a duel both as last ditch strategy and as a potential way of proving his masculinity, okay, and his bravery and honor that is at risk at the moment. Inobabus aside. Yes, like enough high battle Caesar will unstate his happiness and be staged to the show against a sword. Yes, as if like as if this high battle Caesar, this intense Caesar will unstate his happiness. He's going to give away his advantage and be staged to the show and agree to the show him to agree to show himself in public against a sword, against and um, and agree to show himself in public and fight against a trained swordsman. Do you expect that? यानी कि the Caesar, he is in a vantage point, he is in a very advantageous point. So why would he leave all those advantages and fight him one on one? Okay, and he fight a person who is very much trained. Why would you do that? I see men's judgments are a parcel of their fortune. I see that men's judgments are connected to their lucks and things outward, and the external events do draw the inward quality after them, do shape the inner qualities after them, so that we suffer extremely. To suffer all alike, क्या मतलब? And things outward do draw the inward quality after them to suffer all alike. That our judgments, the men's judgments are connected to their fortunes, and the outward, yani the external events do shape the inner qualities so that we suffer externally. When we suffer externally, we suffer internally. So he's trying to say that Antony is suffering externally, therefore he's suffering internally as well, because of which his judgment has grown weak. That's why he's saying such things. that he should dream, knowing all measures, the full Caesar will answer his emptiness. Why look at him? इसकी judgment कैसे खराब हो गई? That he is dreaming about that full Caesar, that fully capable Caesar, fully present in advantage Caesar, will answer his empty challenges. Okay, will answer this Antony who's completely empty now, knowing all the measures, knowing about everything. Okay, na? So how could he dream like this, knowing everything, that the full Caesar will answer his useless challenge? Caesar, thou hast subdued his judgment too. Caesar, the way you have subdued different kings, that you have destroyed the judgment of Antony as well. The servant, a messenger from Caesar, messenger from Caesar. Cleopatra, what, no more ceremony? What? How are you giving this message? There isn't any ceremony in it. There isn't any royal treatment. You did not give me any royal treatment. See, my women against the blown rose may they stop their nose that yield up unto the word. How against the great fallen men, against the blown rose, may they stop their nose that kneel unto the word? How against the great fallen men turn their nose up at her who once kneeled before her? Let him in. See my woman, yani कि she's saying to her, the servants who are different women, and she's saying that can you see women, my ladies, against the blown rose may they stop their nose and kneel unto them. Yani कि how against a man who is now fallen, who used to be great, they have now turned their noses away from Cleopatra as well, who used to once kneel before her because of his man, who was not fallen at the moment, who was a king at that moment. But now, as he has fallen, now they're not giving her the due respect as well. Chalo, admit him, let him in. Servant exists. Barbar's aside. Mine honesty aside means obviously that he's only saying this that only the audience can hear, the characters cannot. Mine honesty and I begin to swear. My judgment begins to come into conflict with my honor. Is beginning to swear, yani कि my judgment, my thinking ability is now beginning to come into conflict with my honor. The loyalty well held to fools does make our faith make holy. Therefore, to be loyal to fools, it makes our loyalty only foolishness. Yet he that can endure, so over here is calling Antony a fool, the way he is acting. Yet he that can endure to follow with allegiance a fallen Lord, and still a person who can accept and patiently endure to follow the allegiance of a Lord who is now fallen, who is becoming weaker, does conquer him that did his master conquer. He even conquers the people who actually conquered over his master and earns a place in the story and earns a place in the history. So he's trying to uh, comfort himself by saying that even in these difficult times, I am going to stay strong and I am going to uh, be loyal even to a foolish person. Then I am going to go in the history as a very reputable man. But even thinking that he's following a foolishness, it suggests that now he's wobbling, his loyalty is wobbling now. So, similar to Manus earlier, remember, who was the follower of Pompey? So, in a similar manner as Venus earlier, Barbas is also facing a dilemma regarding loyalty to his leader. He must remain loyal to Antony. When Antony appears not to be in his right mind and is manipulated by a woman, this is the question that is striking his mind again and again. Yeah, should he remain loyal to Antony when Antony is not appearing in his right mind and he is being manipulated by a woman, what should I do? Should I still follow him? Actually, enter Thaddeus. Enter Thaddeus. Cleopatra. Caesar's will. What does Caesar want? Hear it apart. I would want you to hear it in private. None but friends. There aren't anybody else over. Only friends. Say boldly. Say openly. Thaddeus. So happily are their friends with me. But I'm saying this because perhaps they might be the friends of Antony. Babas. He needs as many sir as Caesar has. Antony also needs as many friends, sir, as Caesar has, or needs not us, even if we are of no use to him. Even if the friends are of no use to him, obviously in such times friends are of no use to him. But still can use friends at this difficult time. If Caesar wants, our master will need to be his friend. In the same manner, if Caesar wants the friendship of master, okay, na, our master will also lead to his friendship. For us, whose he is we are, as far as we are concerned, we are the friend of those people whose friend is our master, and that is Caesar. And by this, I'm talking about Caesar. Caesar. So be it. Okay. Thus, then, here is the situation. Here is what I am over here to say. Thus, then. The most renowned, thou most renowned, you are most renowned, Cleopatra. And Caesar entreats not to consider in what case thou standest further than he is Caesar. And Caesar asks not to be concerned with your current situation further than he is in, knowing that he is Caesar, the general. So knowing that हमारा पारा Caesar से बड़ा है, who is the generous man, don't worry at all. Go on, right word. Go on, complete your delivery, okay, na? And right royal, that is generous of hideous. He knows that you embrace not Antony as you did love, but as you feared. Caesar knows that you did not take Antony because you loved him, but you took Antony because you feared him. Cleopatra. Oh, acha, so that's what you think. Hideous. The scars upon your honor, therefore, he does pity as constrained blemishes, not as deserved. So the damage upon your honor, therefore, he does pity as constrained blemishes, as forced blemishes. Okay, the damages on your honor because of Antony, he pities them. Why? Because he knows that those damages were like forced stains on you, not as deserved. You did not deserve those blemishes. है ना? Jupiter, he is a god and knows what is most right. Caesar is a god and he is a great man and he knows what is right, what is wrong, what is just. Mine honor was not yielded but conquered me. It's very shocking for the audience, for the readers right now, what Cleopatra is saying. My honor was not yielded, and it was not given to Antony voluntarily, but conquered mainly, but it was overpowered. Barbus aside, because he's also shocked the way the audience, the way the readers are shocked. So, क्या कह रहा है? To be sure of that, I will ask him to make sure that that is true. Whatever Rebecca is saying that she was forced, na? So to make sure that whatever she's saying is true, I will ask, ask him. I will tell him that that's what she's saying. And then when after listening to this, when she's going to force himself upon herself, her, then she's going to become true. Sir, thou art so leaky that you must keep thee to thy sinking, for thy dearest could be. Sir, you have fallen so low that he must now, I must now leave thee, I must now abandon you to thy sinking, to your disgrace, for the thy dearest could be, because even the dearest of all to you, they are deserting you, they are leaving. At this moment, we see that Babas also is now thinking to leave and leave. Serious. Can I say to Caesar what you require of him? And if you tell me what you demand of Caesar so that I can tell him what you, or he partly begs to be desired to me because he likes people asking him to give. It much would please him that of his fortunes you should make a staff to lean upon. It would actually please him that you lean over him for his, or that you lean over his fortunes. But it would warm his spirits to hear from you had left me. But it would really make him happy to hear from me that you have actually left Antony and put yourself under his shroud and put yourself under Caesar's shelter, the universal landlord who is the ruler of the world. Cleopatra. What's your name? Sirius. My name is Sirius Cleopatra. Most kind messenger. Okay? Most kind messenger. Uh, say to great Caesar this in deputation. Say this to great Caesar and this in deputation as my representative. I kiss his conquering hand. I accept him as the king. Tell him I am bound to lay my crown at his feet. Tell him that I am immediately ready to put my crown at his feet and there to kneel, and I am ready to kneel in front of him. Tell him from his all obeying breath, I hear the doom of Egypt. Tell him that I will obey him and let him decide, okay, the fate of Egypt, okay, na, which might be nearing its doom, okay, whatever you want to decide. Serious, it's your noblest cause. Rajaraja. Serious, it's your noblest cause, and it's the best action, the most honorable action that you are taking when wisdom, wisdom and fortune combating fight together. When wisdom and luck they are fighting together. If that the former dare, but what it can, no chance may shake it. If the wisdom does everything what it can, no fate may defeat it. Give me grace to lay my duty on her hand. Give me permission to show my faith onto your hand by kissing them. And then he kisses her hand. Now, Thaddeus is acting on behalf of Octavius, tries to manipulate Cleopatra by convincing her to desert Antony, and Cleopatra appears to be willing to betray her lover as well. But it is possible that Cleopatra is lying and only playing along with Helios as part of her own manipulative strategy, and we have already seen that how much manipulative has she has been. So the themes over here will be honor, loyalty, and betrayal, and strategy, manipulation, and power. Cleopatra, your Caesar's father, often, okay, yani ke the father of your master Octavius, Julius Caesar, when he had news of taking kingdoms, when he had thought of conquering kingdoms, he often bestowed his lips on that unworthy place, on that hand which you just kissed, and it rained kisses, and he used to rain kisses on. Entered Antony and Anubis. Antony favors kisses by Jove that thunders, by Jove, by Jupiter, who is the king of the Roman gods, who is associated with thunderstorms. What art thou, fellow? What are you, man? Tedious, one that but performs the bidding of the fullest man and worthiest to have command of it. I am who that follows the orders of the most powerful man and worthiest to have command of it and worthiest to be obeyed. And the Baba said, you will be whipped for doing that and saying that. And the Baba says this aside because he knows in what kind of situation Antony is. Antony, what is he doing? Calling servants, calling for servants. Approach, they come over here. Ah, you guide. He's saying this to Cleopatra, who you vote. Now, gods and devils authority meant from me. Okay, Now, gods and devils, I lose all my authority. Of late, when I cried ho, not long ago, when I cried ho, when I asked something, like boys unto a muskins would start forth and cry your will. Like boys towards the meal, kings would start forth, they would dart forward, come forward and cry your will and used to ask that what do I want? Have you no ears? Now he's saying this to servants, don't you have ears? I called you. I am Antony here. So Antony insists that he still has some of the greatness associated with his former reputation and still deserves to wield authority. इतनी तो authority मुझे होनी चाहिए that Cleopatra, you must not do this, you must not let this happen, and also servants to listen to me and follow my commands. Second, okay, enter servant. Take, I am Antony and I am still at that Antony. Enter servant. Take hands this Jack, this scoundrel, and whip him. And Baba's aside. It is better playing with a lion's whelp than with an old one's eye. It's very well said. It is quite dangerous playing with a powerful man's messenger than with an old one time. Okay, na, than with an old one who is now moving towards his downfall. Okay, na? Yes, it is dangerous to play with the messenger of a very powerful man, but it is more dangerous to play with an old man who is becoming weaker, who is losing his powers day by day. Antony, moon and stars with him, and they keep on whipping him, keep on whipping him. They are 20 of the greatest tributaries that do acknowledge Caesar, even if there were 20 of the greatest monarchs that pay tribute to Caesar, should I find them so saucy with the hand of she if I find them intimately familiar with the hand of the hand of Cleopatra, what is her name since she was Cleopatra? That's why he's not taking her name. If they are found to be kissing her hand, and what is her name? Because she has stopped being Cleopatra, I will uh, I will do the same. Therefore, whip him, fellows, till like a boy you see him cringe his face, till you see him making faces uh, um, of, of fear uh, and pain like a boy, and whine aloud for mercy until he shouts aloud for mercy. Take him hence, take away from him. Hideous Mark Antony. Tug him away, pull him away. Being whipped, bring him again. Once he has been whipped, bring him in again. This jack of Caesar shall bear us an errand to him. This scoundrel of Caesar shall bear us a message to him. He is going to take a message to Caesar by servant exit with teachers. To Cleopatra. You were half blasted before I knew you. Huh? You were half decade before I met you. Huh? Have I my pillow left undressed in Rome and foregone the getting of a lawful race and by a germ of a woman to be abused by one that looks on feeders? Have I abandoned my home in Rome and neglected the chance of having legitimate children by a noble woman? Have I done all of that just to be abused by one that looks on people, by a woman who bestows favors on servants? Feeders कौन होते हैं? Servants होते हैं. यानी कि a low level person who feeds on his masters like a parasite. So मैंने घर बार इसलिए छोड़ा. I did not make a proper legitimate family for what? For whom? For a person like you who is ready to give favors to servants as well. Look at her. Good my lord. कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं आप? You have been a burglar ever. Been a burglar ever. You have always been deceitful. But when we in our viciousness go hard, when we in our vicious ways set oh misery on it, what it is. Oh, यानी कि You have been deceitful always, but when we in our vicious ways grow set, grow hard, oh misery on it. Oh, what a misery it is. What have you done? Okay. The wise gods see our eyes. Is the connection पिछली line से. But when we in our vicious ways grow set, the wise gods close our eyes. In our own will drop our clear judgments. And through uh, our own filth, through our own bad behavior, what does God do? It clouds our clear judgment and make us adore our errors, make us love our errors, laugh at it while we stuck to our confusion, make us laugh and bring ourselves to our own doing. So Antony takes Thedious's kissing Cleopatra's hand as an insult to his honor, and he is furious at Cleopatra for appearing to betray him. Perhaps he is no longer under the spell of Cleopatra right now. Cleopatra. Oh, is it come to this? And even now you have fallen to this kind of level that you are accusing me of such things. You have fallen to this level. Okay, na? Is this what you think now about me? Arey, I found you as a morsel poured upon. Okay, morsel is the leftover food, the food which is already eaten, the leftover. So I found you as a morsel poured upon that Caesar's venture. I found you like a cold leftover food on Julius Caesar's table. Nay, you were a fragment of Gnaeus Pompey's, and also you were the leftover piece of Pompey. Besides, what hotter hours, unregistered in vulgar fame, you have luxuriously picked out, and this you were the leftover food of Julius Caesar, and you were the leftover food of Pompey. Beside the passionate moments that ordinary people don't even know about, secretly chosen. यानी कि these are the two क्या कहते हैं affectionate connections you had with these two people, illegitimate connections, and these are the passionate moments which are only known to the people. But the passionate moments which are unregistered, which are not known to the ordinary people, uh, okay, uh, which you secretly chose to be. Uh, so these are the two moments, apart from other moments of your passion. Uh, so I can only think of two. For I am sure, though you can guess what temperance should be, I am sure, even though you can guess what temperance, what self-control is be, you know not what it is, but you do not know how to practice it. Cleopatra, wherefore is this? Why are you talking like this? Wherefore is this? Why are you talking like this? Antony, to let a fellow that will take reward and say, God will do. To let a fellow that accepts, that will take awards, that accepts the awards, and यानी कि any who we should take awards, the servants we should take awards. Okay, so to let such a man who would accept favors and favor लेने के बाद वो बंदा क्या कहेगा and say, may God quit you, may God repay you. Be familiar with my playfellow. You to let a fellow that accepts those favors and would say, may God repay you that. Be familiar with you were intimate with my playfellow. Uh, sorry, to let a fall, to let a person who accepts favors and who says, may God repay you, and if to let a servant be familiar, be intimate with my playfellow, यानी कि with the hand who I used to play with, यानी कि your hand, this kingly seal, and with this royal seal, यानी कि कोई ring होगी शायद, okay ना, with this royal seal and plighter of high hearts, and with a person who brings toast to all those with great heart. यानी कि you let a servant to play with your hand, you with whose hand you what do? You drink toast to the great hearts, the great people, great kings of the world. Oh, that I were upon the hill of the sun. To out, oh, if only if I could, I was present at that hill to outroar the horned head, to roar louder than the wood. For I have savage cause because I have a reason to behave savagely at the moment and to proclaim it civilly, but life and to speak about my wrongs calmly would be for like a haltered neck which does the hangman hang for being here about him. But it would be as shameful as a condemned man who does the hangman hang, who thanks the hangman for thank for being here about him, and again who would be as shameful as a condemned man thanking him for hanging him quickly. कोई ऐसा करता है? Would any person thank the hangman to thank him quickly? Nobody would. Okay, so that would be uh, a useless thing to do. Okay, okay. So I have savage reason. Okay, to shout loudly. Okay, because and it is such thing which cannot be talked calmly. Okay, and if I'm going to talk about such things in a calm manner, it would be as shameful as that person who's asking the hangman to hang him quickly. Enter the servant again with yes. Is he whipped? मारे इसको कोड़े लगाए. Soundly, yes, my lord. Cried he, did he cry and begged a pardon? Did he ask for mercy? Pardon? He did ask favor, he did ask favor. Antony with Helios. If that thy father live, let him remain thou was not made his daughter. If you must pray, if that thy father live, let him repent. Let him be sorry that thou was not made his daughter. Okay, so Antony is implying that he would not have ripped a woman. Yani कि if your father was alive, let him be sorry. Your father is alive and you have been whipped, so your father is going to cry over that. So let him repent. Let your father repent on the fact that why there wasn't a daughter born in his house. यानी कि if there was a daughter born in his house, यानी कि if Helios was a woman, so Antony would not have whipped him. And be thou sorry to follow Caesar in his crime, since thou hast been whipped for following. Okay, na? And you must be sorrow from now onwards to follow Caesar in his crime, since you have been whipped for following him. Henceforth, henceforth. Okay, from now onwards, the white hand of a lady fever thee. The white hand of a lady should give you fever, should be like a fever to you. It must terrify you. Shake thou to look on it. You must shake with fear to even look at the hand of a lady. Get thee back to Caesar. Go back to Caesar. Tell him that entertainment. Tell him what happened with you. Tell him about your treatment. How were you treated over it? Look, thou say he makes me angry with him. Be sure to say that Caesar makes me angry with him. For he seems proud and disdainful. Okay? Harping on what I am and focusing that what I am focusing on my present, not what he knew I was, not focusing on my past. He is feeling proud and he is mocking me, only thinking about my present. He has forgotten my past. Ask him to think about my past as well, what kind of a warrior I was. He makes me angry. And at this most easy it is to do it when my good stars that were my former guides in empty left their orbits and shot their fires into the abysm of hell. Okay? He makes me angry. And at this time, It is something very easy to do to make me angry. No, because my good stars, my stars of fortune, that were my former guides that used to guide me, have empty left their oars. They have left their positions in the sky and shot their fires into the pit of hell. तो इतनी यानी कि वो जो स्टार लाइट अप होते थे और आसमान को रोशन करते थे, now they're pouring in their light and fire into hell. So if he mislike my speech and what is done, if he does not like my speech and whatever has been done over here, tell him he has hypocrisy. Tell him that he is my slave Hipparchus, an infringed bondman who was a freed slave, whom he may at pleasure with, whom he can with happiness, or hang or torture him. And he shall like to quit me, and he shall as he shall want to avenge me, as Caesar would like to avenge me. How? Because whatever I have did with his messenger, he would also like to do the same with my messenger. Urge it thou, tell him that, hence with thy steps and on, with your wounds, please be from here. And then Theseus exits. Cleopatra, have you done yet? Anike, are you finished yet? Antony, Alex, our terrain moon is now eclipsed. The terrain moon was earthly moon goddess. So our earthly moon goddess has now eclipsed, yani कि has now lost her power, and it portends alone the fall of Antony, and it foretells the fall of Antony. So Antony continues to insult Cleopatra for betraying, deliberately re-referencing Julius Caesar in order to imply that Cleopatra has a parasitic habit of hanging on to powerful men. Antony sends the beaten Theseus back to Octavius as a strong message, a seeming reassertion of Antony's own strength and manner. So this is the way he wants to reassert his strength and his manliness. Cleopatra, I must stay his time. यानी कि I must stay quiet until he calms down. To flatter Caesar, would you mingle eyes with one that ties his points? Just to flatter Caesar, just to come close to Caesar, would you flirt with the person who ties his points, with the person who helps him dress? यानी कि you are going to flirt with his servant just to get close to Caesar. Cleopatra, not know me yet. Don't you know me at all by now? Okay, na? Cold-hearted toward me. How can you still be cold-hearted towards me, Cleopatra? Ah, dear, if I be so, if I am going to be cold-hearted towards you, if I be so from my cold heart, and if I am cold-hearted towards you, let heaven engender hail, let heaven create hail, and poison it at the source. If I be so, if from my cold heart, and again let my cold heart create a hail, hailstorm वाला hail होता है ना, and let it poison also, and poison that hail in the source, and the first stone drop in my neck, and let the first hailstone drop in my neck, as it determines and as it melts over there, so dissolve my life, let it kill me as well. The next Caesarean smite, let the next, यानी कि my son Caesarion की बेटे का नाम क्या था? So, let the next my son Caesarion smite, strike and kill, till by degrees the memory of my own, until gradually all my children, together with my brave, sorry, till my degrees the memory of my own, together with my brave children, until all my children and all the Egyptians are killed. By the discandling of this platform, by the dissolving hailstones at this storm, lie graveless till the flies and gnats of Nile have buried them. Okay, and let all of those people be killed, and by the dissolving, melting hailstones of the storm, let them all lie without grace, until the flies and gnats of the river Nile have buried them in their own stomachs as prey. Okay. And I am satisfied. Caesar sits down in Alexandria. I am satisfied of your feelings for me now. Caesar sits down in Alexandria. Caesar is present in Alexandria, where I will oppose his fate. I will oppose him. I will fight him over there. Our force by land has nobly held their ground. Are severed, are dispersed, maybe too, have knit again, have now also come together and fleet threatening more sea like, and they are afloat now, threatening more sea like. Now they are presenting the most seaworthy threat. Where has thou been my heart? Where has been my courage? Okay, now he's talking about fighting again. For few moments before, he had given up. He was asking for his peaceful surrender. Dost thou hear? Do you hear, lady? If from the field I shall return once more, if after fighting I am going to return once more to kiss these lips, I will appear in blood. I will be in blood. Okay, na blood of my opponents, and I and my sword will earn a chronicle. Money and my sword are going to earn good reputation again. There is hope in it yet, because there is hope in it for us still. There is still hope in it. So it is unclear whether Cleopatra is entirely deceptive and is lying to Antony, or whether she does love him and was simply pretending to give into Theseus. Her ultimate loyalties remain ambiguous, but regardless, Antony believes her. That's my brave lord. Here, Batu are my brave lord, Antony. I will travel sinewed, hearted, breathe, and fight malicious. I will 3 times as strong, hearted, brave, breathe, persevering, and fight maliciously, and I will fight furiously. For when my time were nice and lucky, when my time was nice and lucky, men did ransom their lives of me for just. Okay, now men used to risk their lives just to please me. But now I'll set my teeth, now I will harden my teeth, my heart, and send to darkness all that stop me. I will send all those people who try to stop me to darkness and get to hell. Okay, na? Come, let's have one other body night. Let's have one other night of celebration. Call to me all my sad captains. Bring all my sad captains to me. Fill our bowls once more. Let's mock the midnight bell. Let's mock the midnight bell by not caring how late it is. Cleopatra. It is my birthday. I had thought it have held it poor. I had thought that I won't celebrate it. Yeah, but I will celebrate it poorly. But since my Lord is Antony again, since my Lord Antony has come to his real character of celebrations, so I will be Cleopatra. So I will also be Cleopatra again. I will also come back to my celebratory mode. Antony, we will yet do well. We will still uh, trying. We will still do well. We will still try. We will still win. Call all his noble captains, my lord. Antony, do so. We'll speak to them. We will speak to my captains. And tonight I will force the wine feed through this. God, I will force them to drink so much wine that the wine is going to start coming out of their pores of scars. Come on, my queen. There is sap in it yet. There is hope in it still. The next time I do fight, I'll make death love me. I will make death admire me. Yeah, this is how ferociously I'm going to fight. For I will contend even with this pestilent because I will contend, I will oppose even his fatal power. The fatal power of death, the fatal power of fate. Okay? Exit all but in a mouth. Now, he'll outstay the light. Now he will set himself at this moment. ये इस वक्त इस पोजीशन में है that he will set himself against the mightiest of enemies. He will set himself against the lightning as well. And to be furious is to be frightened out of fear. Actuality, to be furious, to be angry, and this moment it is like driven out of fear. यानी कि the reason behind it is fear. And in that mood, the dove will peck the ostrich. That kind of angry mood, even the weakest of the birds, यानी कि dove, they will peck the ostrich, they will challenge the strongest of the birds, यानी कि ostrich. ओके यानी कि इस किस्म के एंगर के अंदर डिसीजंस गलत होते हैं यानी कि इस टाइम टू से दैट एंटनी who is taking a decision of going back to fight again is wrong and I see still a diminution in our captain's brain and I still see and I can tell I can see a reduction okay na a reduction in our captain's brain yani ki he has lost his judgment restores his heart by doing what by restoring his heart by restoring his bravery when valor preys on reason when courage destroys reason it eats the sword it fights with will destroy its own sword. I will seek some way to leave him. I will try to find a reason to leave him. So before facing Octavius again, Antony decides to indulge in a night of drinking and good cheer. He seems unable to focus on important matters. Barbas decides to prioritize his own fortune over loyalty to me, having lost his faith in his leading. Again, things would be honor, loyalty, and fear, and love, pleasure, and decadence. Because at this moment, we see that he is not, no matter how serious the matter is, Anthony is not ready to leave his celebratory mode, his decadence in which he is gone. With this, we end this lesson. Scene 13 has ended. I hope you understood. Please feel free to ask questions.